Ladies and gentlemen, it's been now 1 week since we had a Flock Friday, and it's been 2 wins for the Charm City football team. Let's make the quick transition here from the beginning. That's 2 consecutive victories in Baltimore. And just like that, everybody, the demise of the Baltimore Ravens has been greatly exaggerated. Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome back to Flock Friday. I am Chase Coburn. We just had him on a few weeks ago, but I felt like, why not just have him on again? Because why not? Josh Berman coming in after he was there in person at the game in Miami. Josh, welcome to the show, and let's go Flock, baby. Let's roll.
Yeah, it was interesting because I talked about this in like my pregame video before the Bears game, which was 7 days from that moment. And that number isn't even true because we're 5 days removed, but It was the Ravens have an opportunity to do 2 things. On a positive side, they could be 3-5 and right back in the thick of things in the playoff race. They also could have been 1-7 and staring down their worst start in franchise history. And if you thought it was bad a week ago, it's gotten so much worse because now you're 1-7. But now the good has happened. They're 3-5. And man, it's unbelievable. Our schedule, how easy, because it started so hard and it's so easy now down the stretch. And the Steelers' schedule on the flip side is so difficult to where the Ravens are the favorites to win the division. And it is weird to say this about a 3-5 football team, but I wonder if you feel the same way. But I am now fully back on, even though I am not going to treat the Ravens. I mean, even though I'm not like when I'm at my power rankings, they're not going to be in the top 5. But I feel the way I felt about the Ravens before the season started because why not? It's just a matter of they still have to dig themselves out of the hole. They are still in that hole. They are still 3-5. But the way I felt about this team coming into this year is the way that I feel now.
Yeah.
I just need to continue to see it.
Right, and you see it for 2 games. I think the other thing, too, I guess that's maybe holding me back from still thinking that is like, I went into last night, even after the Bears game, and I'm like, all right, these are the Ravens that I've grown accustomed to, the Ravens that I fell in love with, which is like, you're going to be the overwhelming favorite, particularly when you have your transcendent quarterback talent back on the field with Lamar Jackson. And that was apparent in the 28-6 score where we could talk about this. I don't even think the Ravens played that well, but they still were able to come away with a 28-6 win. And so I think that's the only thing, too, for me is like, I wonder if, like, yes, they've made strides and they've made improvements since we last saw Lamar on the field with this whole team, which was week 4. But I almost wonder how much of an improvement is it if you go back and you play Mahomes right now in Kansas City?
I agree with that 100%.
Josh Allen in Buffalo. I still think the jury is still out on whether this football team can win a big game. And frankly, you mentioned the schedule. We're not really going to know a lot about Baltimore. I say no, we're not going to know its legitimacy until week 17, week 16, maybe. I mean, you look at the upcoming schedule at Minnesota, at Cleveland, home against the Jets, home against the Bengals, home against the Steelers, who I think will be probably exposed by that point, at Cincinnati. Again, both of those games expected to be without Joe Burrow. And then you play at home against the Patriots. We'll see if they're good. They've had a good early season run thus far.
Their schedule is,
and then you have
here's the thing.
Right.
New England schedule. We have an easy schedule. The Patriots statistically have the easiest schedule in the Super Bowl era.
Right. So I think they'll be viewed as the like legit team then. And then you got week 17 at Green Bay, week 18 at Pittsburgh. We really won't know about this team until maybe that week 16, week 17 game. And so I think if you're the Ravens, it's just about stacking up wins. And I think what's great is as they kind of try to dig themselves out of this hole that was created both by their own incompetence and because of injuries, some of the incompetence that still lies with this football team is masked because of the incompetence from their opponents. Like, I don't think the Ravens defense played incredible, but they allowed 6 points simply because Miami has a whirlwind of problems going on their sideline. So I just think that it's a perfect situation for Baltimore where you're creeping finally towards playing better, and then boom, you got this easy schedule that can kind of allow you to just go full throttle.
Chase, we have seen the Ravens be the best team in football.
So many times, Josh. So many times.
How much has that given us? Nothing. Because you don't need to be the best team in football in October, November, or even December.
We have won 3 December Super Bowls with Lamar Jackson, everybody. The Ravens have won 3 October, November, December Super Bowls with Lamar Jackson, and I really could care less about him.
They don't need to be the best team in football now or even in December. They need to be the best team in football for 4 games. That's it. And I agree with for me, it's about improvement and getting better and getting better and getting better. And here's the reality. Oh, Chase, have we lost him?
We are back, everybody. I'm not quite sure what just happened, but that was the first 6 weeks, everybody. Now we're moving on. That was the first 6 weeks. Looked promising. Then it was just a disaster. Now we're back on track. Go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
This team has won 2 Super Bowls as a 4 seed and a 5 seed. This is what the Ravens do. I mean, I'm not coming on here and telling you that the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not doing that. But I am telling you that this would be the most Ravens thing of all time for this to be the year for them to do it. It really would.
And that's what you said the last time. That was the conversation we had. And now it feels like, okay, now it feels even more realistic that the Ravens can get back to the postseason.
But exactly. We still need to make the playoffs first. We are still 3-5. We still all of those conversations are great. And I do think Ravens fans, it's one of those things where you kind of are caught in between 2 things. A Ravens fan can and should have those conversations. If you are not a Ravens fan, there's no reason for you to have those conversations yet because we haven't proven that yet. We aren't there yet. So let's keep going. Because the defense, they allowed 6 points, but it was the first half, the defense, I think they played great on 3rd down. They played great in the red zone, but Miami went up and down the field on them. The second half, they played a lot better. But there are those little things I want to see worked on. Offensively, I mean, they looked great. They played great. Lamar Jackson had 4 touchdowns and 5 incomplete passes for the 6th time in his career.
That's just so Lamar. It's just so Lamar.
It is so Lamar. Here, this is me knowing StreamYard. Here, I'm going to share my screen for a second here. Speaking of so Lamar, put this up.
Gotcha right here. Let's rock and roll.
Put this up.
Most games with 4+ TDs, 5 fewer incomplete. I mean, that's insane. That's insanity.
It is. It's unbelievable that he just does. It is Lamar. This is what he does. In his last 30 games that he has played, he has thrown for 73 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. That is historic numbers. Historic. No one and here's the thing about Lamar. I think he was holding back because it was clear to me that he he had 5 carries for 14 yards. And he seemed very hesitant to run to me.
But real quick, I want to put up a quick comment. Joseph plays 4922. I'm a Jets fan, but I like the Ravens. Yeah, jump on the bandwagon. We need more people right now. We love it. We were just called the best football city in the world on a podcast.
Oh, I saw that.
We're wearing that with a badge of honor right now. The same day you get a Thursday Night Football win by 22. You're a Jets fan. Don't deal with that. 2 of my closest friends are Jets fans. I'll be the first to tell you. Don't deal with it now. Jump on the bandwagon. Now's the time.
I do like Aaron Glenn now. But, man, let me tell you something. I don't know how it sounded on TV, but I would be stunned if it didn't translate at least a little bit. That was a home game last night.
Did you hear what Tuba said after the game on the press conference? Yep. They said, why were there miscues at the line? And he's like, well, the Ravens fans. I'm like, whoa. This is your home stadium. That sometimes doesn't even happen on the road. The Ravens fans, like yourself, traveled to Miami to the point where it became a home game plus in enemy territory.
Yeah, that was, from the national anthem with the was, oh my God, that was unbelievable. That was the moment where it's like, wow,
And frankly, it's shocking too, because not everybody is as in tune with this franchise as me and you. Even the fans that would go and travel for these games, sometimes they're more like, casual football fans. You see this team 2-5 and you're not in tune. You're probably thinking, why would I go travel? But it just shows the belief that this fan base has in this football team. They have not lost any hope. And I don't blame them, because this team can do it. Like, they can. Like, again,
100%.
we're looking at the schedule. Like, Lamar's healthy, right? But I even said, God forbid Lamar was not on the field. Against Minnesota, I'd argue Tyler Huntley would be the better quarterback on the field. Against Cleveland, Tyler Huntley would be the best quarterback on the field. Against the Jets, Tyler Huntley's probably the best quarterback on the field. Against the Bengals, it's close. Like, with Lamar on the field, these games should be blowouts. Yeah. Blowouts. But forget wins, blowouts. And so, I think you get to the point now where we're talking about this hole that the Ravens need to get themselves out of and dig themselves out of. I think that hole ends if you get a win against Minnesota next week. Because 4-5 at that point, you're right at the 500 mark, around there, and you're thinking, okay, like, there's no more hole anymore. Now it's just like, all right, let's just go. I don't think it feels as panicky anymore, which I want it to feel panicky. We talked about Lamar. Every game is do or die. They need to keep that energy and keep that mentality and keep that focus. But I think at some point, if you're 4-5, I think that's when you could start to have national conversations about, like, okay, the Baltimore's back. Like, if you're not doing it now, you're doing it next week.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's two things. I think there's a difference between panicky and digging yourself out of the hole. I'm going to be honest with you. I think panic standpoint, I think we're good. I think we're out of that now.
Yeah.
But I look at you're digging yourself out of the hole until you're in first place. Because technically you still have to catch up. As long as Pittsburgh is technically in front of you, you are digging out of the hole because you're technically not in first yet. Once that happens, once you're in first, then you've dug yourself out. That's really how I feel.
Yeah. I think that the Ravens are in a spot where, like, they are the most dangerous three. I mean, they were 1-5, and people said it was a coin flip chance they made the playoffs. Like, that never happens. Like, and I think that just explains how incredible Lamar Jackson could be. Like, I hate that Ravens fans,
the talent around him.
Correct. And I also do want to bring this up. I know that one clip went viral, not viral, but like got a lot of views, that I just posted recently about how I was wondering if Lamar had fallen off a cliff. And I talked about that with Samuel and Joker. Not falling off a cliff, but just like taking a step back from where he was last year, which is okay. But I remember I was wondering that. And I don't want to be here and be a Lamar hater, because I'm always the Lamar lover. I don't think Lamar played a great game, but I think that's what made his performance even more impressive.
Yeah.
His hamstring injury was clearly still hampering his success. He couldn't run around a lot, but I still felt like he didn't just absorb the pressure. He just found ways to get rid of the football.
I think the bar is also very high.
What'd you say?
The bar is also very high. If Tua played the way that Lamar played last night, you would have said Tua balled out.
Right. We go into the games and we're expecting Lamar Jackson to be the MVP quarterback he was or should have been last year, and it was the year before in the first team All-Pro. He's been back-to-back years. So that's what Lamar Jackson fans expect, the one that can run around on any given play. But it still felt like Lamar had good control of the pocket. The one thing I want to bring up is that his receivers, when his receivers had 3 or more yards of separation, he was 14-15 with all 4 of his touchdowns. So I think a lot of it was the Dolphins secondary was banged up, and the Ravens certainly took advantage. And I thought the tight ends played really well. I thought Zay Flowers played really well. But again, if we are calling an off day for Lamar Jackson, 4 passing touchdowns, no picks, and a passer rating above 143, not to go back to Kyle Hamilton's comment, we have become spoiled. Maybe not about the team, but about the player. Like, we have become spoiled if that is lower than the expectation. Like,
Lamar is playing all-time great football.
Like, historic. This is like a historic level. Historic.
From a dual threat, we have never seen it.
Right.
But, yeah. And from a dual threat standpoint and from an efficiency standpoint, he is playing... He might not be playing the best for football any quarterback's ever played. I wouldn't go that far. But honestly, I mean, if you look at the numbers, I would argue that he might be the most efficient quarterback of all time. He really might be. Like, if you look at those numbers of just on a per play basis, on a per throw.
Josh, I mean, he has 5 games this year he's played, and he has a passer rating above 136.
His touchdown rate is what? 11.6%. 11.9, sorry, 11.9.
My goodness.
I mean, that's a video game.
He's a video game. And I think what's great, too, is you talk about the efficiency. He's leading the league, Lamar, again, in yards per attempt. I want to bring up his air yards per attempt is also high. It's not like he's benefiting from yards after the catch. It's actually been one of the least, biggest factors for Lamar. It hasn't been the yards after the catch. His air yards per attempt is high, and his deep throw rate is also high. So it's not like Lamar is taking a more conservative approach. He's going out, maybe last night against Miami, but he's going out and saying, like, look, I want to go out and make the biggest plays, and he's doing it, and he's succeeding, and he has, Josh, 1 interception and 2 total turnovers in 5 games. And so I talked about this with Matt King on the podcast and on the Ravens, social media guy. Matt is awesome. Matt is fantastic and one of the best at this. So when we were talking about this, he disagreed with me here. I think even with the schedule, considering that the Ravens were 1-2 in the 3 full games Lamar played and dug themselves into the 1-5 hole without him because they didn't play Stu Huntley, and that's a different story. If the Lamar Jackson can come back from injury and lead this team back from a 1-5 start into an AFC North title and still playing like efficiently and as productive as he's been right now, ship the MVP trophy to his house. It would be over. Bye-bye. That's my thought. The MVP race is wide open. Right now, Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor
might be my guy right now.
But here's the thing. Jonathan Taylor was great last year too, but this year the O-line got better and they don't have Anthony Richardson. So I'd argue like it's supporting factors. To me, the running back is never the most valuable player on a team.
Right.
That's my thought. So for me, I think this MVP race is wide open. And like if Lamar keeps doing this, and it's not like he dug himself into that hole. He was scoring 35 a night before he got injured. So it's like if he's doing this and the Ravens come back to win the division, I'm not considering anyone else. Like, unless Mahomes keeps doing this and the Chiefs are the 1 seed, which is what I predicted preseason, Lamar, it's yours, buddy. Go take it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at a guy who's thrown 14 touchdowns, 1 pick, 73% completion rate, leads the league in touchdown rate, yards per attempt, adjusted yards per attempt, and passer rating, and adjusted net. And as he gets healthier, he's right now is 26 carries for 180 yards and a rushing touchdown. That's by far the lowest pace he's ever had. So as he gets healthier, that number will go up too. So yeah, it's
Lamar's also had less design runs too. I just think that maybe it's a byproduct of he's turning 29 in January, but I just don't know if he is like what?
This goes back to my theory that I had. Is I think he got dinged up in the Buffalo game. Those cramps, I think, were.
What about when he was stepped on by Falala in training camp?
Maybe.
And by the way, I know it's Falala. I just wanted to clarify that.
I know.
When he falls down, you can mispronounce his name, and you're okay.
Maybe, but he did run the ball very well in that Buffalo game, so I don't like.
Right.
That's not crazy, but yeah, that's the thing is you also don't need it. You have Derrick Henry, you have Zay Flowers, you have DeAndre Hopkins, you have Rashad Bateman, you have Isaiah Likely, you have Mark Andrews. That's the thing. And that is why this team was the odds-on Super Bowl favorite. Yes, Lamar is Lamar, but Lamar by himself doesn't win you a Super Bowl. Lamar by himself doesn't lose you playoff games. It's the supporting cast. And this team is the reason. Do you remember there was a segment of fans that were ready to say we were going to go 17-0?
Okay, that was
crazy.
Insane.
But the reason why it was happening is because of how stacked this team is.
I don't think Lamar, though. Lamar alone can get you to 8 wins.
Right. But he can't get you 12.
Right.
The team can.
I want to quickly put up some big comments here. Matt King viewing, by the way, huge shout out to my Matt King. He said, appreciate the shout out, Goats. Of course.
Matt, you still in Miami?
What'd you say?
Matt, are you still in Miami if you're still watching?
Yeah, Matt, if you're still here, I think
I didn't see you
still in Miami. I was texting him earlier today. I think he is still there, but I don't know for sure. Huge shout out to him, too. He travels well with Baltimore right here. If we win the rest of the games, there's zero chance anyone else will get that MVP. Shout out to you. I 100% agree. How about this? What was your fave performance? I guess maybe fave play by Lamar. I think that throw to Zay along the sideline was beautiful. Like, that was like, I turned and I'm like, I can't believe I said this because, like, we just hadn't seen it in a while. I said the vintage Lamar, where I almost felt like, bye-bye hamstring, you're no longer an issue. Like, that's the Lamar Jackson that we all know. So that was great. That throw to Likely was fantastic. And then he had a few more where I feel like what was so great is he wasn't as fast, but he still felt just as agile in terms of being able to get away from defenders. I mean, there was a play where I think the Ravens gained like 2 yards. Maybe it was an incompletion, but Lamar faked it to Henry, and then all of a sudden he turned back, and there were 2 defenders in his face, and like neither of them made contact. And I was just like, what are we doing here? Like, this isn't normal behaviors from a quarterback in this league. And Lamar Jackson just makes it look easy. And by the way, that smile on the sideline, like, so much aura from that QB. I mean, goodness gracious, what a guy.
In 20 years, when people who didn't watch Lamar the way we are when we turn on Barry Sanders highlights and go, man, I wish I could have watched him every week. Like, Lamar's highlight tape is going to be right now. If he never stepped foot in a football field again, I think Lamar is the best highlight tape of all time. Now, that doesn't more things than that make you a legend. But if we're talking about the things that he has done for 8 years, it's so cool that he's a Raven. Like, the fact that we got him and I've gotten to watch him, like,
just appreciate the ride, man. I mean, I had Jerry Sandusky, the Ravens play-by-play guy, on, not the summer before, and I'm like, I kind of came in there and I'm like giving him all these like quick hits, Ravens, Super Bowl. He's like, let's just enjoy the ride. Like, there could be so much that happens during a season, like whether they ever get a ring or not, which would be upsetting if the Ravens ever got a ring with Lamar Jackson. Right now, Lamar is at their fingertips. Like, this is fun to watch. And I think what's also been fun now is you get defense. I know we see the comment here, Alohi or K-Ham.
Wow.
Kyle. But Alohi's been great. Also, they said here, shout out Starks. Yeah, 14, just too good, man. Best safety in the NFL easily. I have no clue how he hasn't gotten first team All-Pro. I think he did get first team All-Pro in 2023.
I think he did last year, didn't he?
I don't know if he got it last year. I think he got it the year before. I could be wrong there. He's been fantastic.
2023, he was first team. 24, he was second team.
Yeah. Right here, getting Gilman has done wonders for this defense because it allowed us to bring Kyle closer to the line of scrimmage. I find this hilarious how last year, defensively, the big conversation was, okay, Hamilton was in the box for the first 10 weeks. Now let's move him back. And that was the big change. And now he's back, and they just move him to the box. So, essentially, wherever your problem is, just put Kyle there. Like, you need him to rush the passer, he'll get you 7 sacks a season. You need him to be back safety, he'll get you 7 interceptions a season. Like, just put him where the problem is, and you'll find success.
It's amazing how after all these years of Ed Reed, we finally got Troy Polamalu. It really is. Like, that's what he is.
Right.
That he is not Ed Reed. He's Polamalu. He is I don't want him playing free safety. That's not where he shines, and that's not where he can excel at. I said this before. I said it after we got Starks, and I've said this kind of coming before, is the best thing is Kyle Hamilton doesn't have to be a safety. He can be a defensive player.
And Starks played
great. Go play football. He did.
And I got to give credit where credit is due I think Eric DeCosta's gotten a lot of flack for the incompetence from the rookie class thus far. They have done an incredible job coming off the bye. Teddy Buchanan was defensive rookie.
I've loved Teddy Buchanan.
I've loved Teddy's been great. We haven't seen third-round pick Emory Jones yet. Mike Green, back-to-back games with half a sack. I feel like he's also just gotten more pressure. And shockingly, Zach Orr, when you don't put him in coverage, he's good. Crazy concept. My bad. And then Malachi Starks at safety clearly had his best game. He played every single snap last night. So I think –
yeah, I mean, he's played every single snap all year, I feel like. I mean,
but I feel like it's just now he's getting even better, which I think is fantastic. Do you guys think Kyle Hamilton has a real chance at DPOI? No, I don't. I think he's one of the most valuable defensive players in the league, but I don't think he'll get there statistically. And even if the Ravens are incredible defensively in the back, whatever we are now, final 9 games of the season, which would then be 3 straight. That would be 12 games. Their first 5 games were so bad that just as a team defense, I don't think you would have a case to justify Kyle Hamilton as Defensive Player of the Year. But he's certainly right there. About Lamar, you're witnessing, you're 1,000,000% correct. You're witnessing a once-in-a-lifetime player. Yes, you are. Yeah, he's just unbelievable. Kyle Hamilton is a freak of nature, man. Yeah, he is. Again, if you guys want to call in, I don't know if I know I put the link in on YouTube. Let me quickly put that link in on Twitter. So if you guys are watching on Twitter, you can call in. We're probably going to go for about another 10 minutes or so. So if you guys really want, I just put the link in there as well. We'd love to have you guys call in. Josh, I know we've been talking a lot about the defense.
I want to bounce something off of you real quick.
Sure.
This is your show.
No, go ahead.
I have something that I've had this thought, and I never got around to making the video just because I've been busy with traveling and all that. And now I'm hesitant because my whole logic, well, he played well last night, but I'm going to tee it up the same way, keeping in mind that his role still has been limited, is let's take a look back at the Odafe Owe trade and the logic behind it. It was, we are not going to bring him back. Full stop. We're not. Let's try and get something that will help out this team right now and would be better than what the comp pick value would be. They went out, they got Alohi Gilman, and it's been exactly that. It's better than what we would have gotten for a comp pick, and he has been an immediate, you stick him in there, and he's been great. So I look at the Ravens' incoming free agents right now, and I say, is there a guy who's a free agent after this season that we could get more than the comp pick value would be, and we can improve our team? And there was a guy that came into my mind that I think we could get something and something real for him. Isaiah Likely. But then last night we used him.
I see. That was what I was planning on bringing this up too, but I was hesitant to in the past few weeks just because Likely's. I don't know if they're good friends. Well, I think they are. I think they're very friendly on the field. But when I mean Likely's Lamar's guy, just in terms of the way they play the game, Likely's better when Lamar Jackson is on the field and when Lamar can extend plays. Like, that's when Likely thrives, and we saw that last night. I think. And again,
did you trade him for a guy like Jalen Phillips or something like that to be a big-time pass rusher?
You're not going to do it. Again, like, Andrews has been so much better this year, but we've also seen last night was the first full game between Likely and Lamar, and the effects of that were prominent. I'm almost the way that I thought about this at the beginning of the year was that Likely was better than Andrews and better to have Likely than Andrews. But I don't think you want to trade Likely because I think he works so well with Lamar. On the flip side, correct. Do the Ravens need someone else? Like, DeAndre Hopkins didn't even have a target last night.
Right. I think he had one, but he didn't catch it.
So, you're right. You bring up an interesting point. I want to say, too, that Eric DeCosta does some things really well, and I think part of that is just making, like, a minor trade that can sometimes make a big difference. Like, no one talks about this last year because he had the pass interference call in the playoffs, which wasn't a good call, by the way. That's a different story. Tre'Davious White, I feel like, did a lot for this defense. And, like, the stats say that, like, he wasn't great. But sometimes just one guy can help alleviate concerns in that secondary. And I feel like what Tre'Davious White did is he allowed Humphrey to play freely in the slot, and he allowed Wiggins to just kind of work through his growing pains a little bit. I feel like what Gilman does is he allows Starks to become a better player. He allows he allows the Ravens to use Hamilton in the way that they want to. And he's even making plays himself with that forced fumble that really set the tempo for the rest of the night. The Ravens took the lead and they never lost it. So I think that Alohi Gilman trade reminds me a lot of the Tre'Davious White trade of like when they traded for Tre'Davious White, that's actually when the defense turned it around.
Yep.
I don't know. Again, I never knew if there was a direct correlation, but that is when the Ravens turned it around. And we're seeing the same thing here with Alohi Gilman.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's going to be very, very interesting just to see what happens, if something happens. And it's just the offensive line is you're not going to get an offensive line at the deadline that's going to be anything better than what you're going to get. It's just not.
Want to get Kevin Zeitler?
Sure, but first of all, I don't know if he's available. Like, he's the only guy that, all right, I would take him.
Josh, I'd take anybody over Daniel Faalele. Like, I don't mean to be that guy, but like, because I was so high on Faalele to begin with, but like, he's been bad. Like, Rosengarten's okay enough. He's actually gotten better the past few weeks. I thought Voorhees had an incredible game against Miami. I mean, Stanley. I think Linderbaum is better when he doesn't have to do everything in the interior, and I think we've seen that now that Voorhees has played better. I feel like Faalele is the only like tremendous weak spot on the O-line. Again, if you get a Kevin Zeitler, like, again, I'd have to really look at who is available, but I have to imagine there's somebody you could get that is better than Faalele. Like, there's no way that that's not available.
I agree with you. And it's so weird because he's so inconsistent. Like, he was great against Cleveland. He was great against the Bears, but he was so bad against the Rams, and he was so bad against the Bills. So, like, he's just so up and like he's either really, really good or awful.
Yeah. I want to bring this up to you real quick. There was something here, BTJ_Prod7, which, by the way, he's been commenting on a ton of the videos. So huge shout out to you because you've been one of our biggest supporters here on the channel. That means a lot. Kyle Hamilton played elite, no question, one of the best leaders in that locker room besides Lamar. Yeah, I mean, Hamilton's great. I think Roquan's maybe more of that vocal leader, but I think that I always thought that Hamilton was maybe a more talented player, but Roquan was better. That's been proven wrong. Hamilton is by far the best player and the queen of, and the chess piece of this defense. He's been fantastic. Josh, I want to bring this up to you that they mentioned leaders. Two things I want to talk about. That one was a great leadership quality and one was a terrible leadership quality from two of the Baltimore Ravens. I know I had that tweet I put out about how Lamar was the one to remove the games and the let's just call it like the ping pong table, all the distractions from the locker room. And I know I tweeted that out because Marlon Humphrey did that and it got some decent viewership. Marlon Humphrey announced that on his podcast, and I think that's a great move from Lamar. I still feel like there's a disconnect in this locker room, and it started when Humphrey went live on Instagram Live. Humphrey drives me nuts. Like, I know that he's a great player. Like, at times he can have some bad games, but like, Josh is gone. But like, for 13 of the 17 games out of the year, he actually is like a really respectable, like very solid cornerback. I thought he played fantastic against Miami. He played great against the Rams, played all right against the Bears. Like, I thought he's had some decent games. And Josh goes against the Humphrey jersey. I just think that he provides more of a headache than he does ability. And like, I'm not saying go and get rid of him, but like, he just drives me nuts. It's the podcast, the troll, how vocal he is, and the arrogance and like the disconnect between him and Lamar Jackson. Like, I almost feel like he thinks Lamar, he almost like talks about Lamar as if he's some joke. And like, Lamar's the entire team. And so like, I love that Lamar was the guy to take the games out of the locker room, and I'm happy it was revealed. But the fact that Marlon Humphrey did actually go and reveal that when it was supposed to be private information just is another example of why I question Marlon Humphrey's spot as a leader on this team and why he was one of the guys dancing with John Harbaugh a few years ago. I'm almost afraid that, like, when it's good, it goes too high, and when it's bad, he's just like a troll. He doesn't do it for me, Marlon. He just doesn't.
I think there's a couple things. The first thing is my perspective on the games thing and removing it changed completely when I heard that it was a player decision.
Yeah, me too.
Because to me, if the coaches did it, I think that's a terrible move because it feels like you're punishing them. And like, I don't like that. I felt like a punishment. Like, no, if it's a player decision and their call, to me, that completely changed my perspective on that.
Like, I love what Lamar said. He's like, they were playing ping pong in there too much. He said, I told the equipment manager, he said, get it all out. He said, the TVs he was trying to take off the wall, but they said they couldn't do that. Like, because Bisciotti just put those up. He's like, take the TVs off the wall. Like, I just love, and then Lamar, when are they going to be back? Maybe next summer. Like, it's just like, I love that Lamar's become that kind of a leader. Yeah. And he does these powerful things in a different way than a Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis would tell you what he was doing. Lamar, actually doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
I think with Marlowe, there's two ways of looking at it. I will support him on a couple of things. I have no problem with him having a podcast. I really don't. Because I think it's no different than him having a press conference. He has to talk to the media anyway. On his platform, he now can at least control the narrative. And I don't have a problem with that. He also is a guy that is incredibly good at it. And he's going to have a career outside of football because of what he's done.
Yeah.
Really
for sure. Yeah.
But that point aside, the other thing is, and this is the two-sided way of it, is if it becomes too much, it becomes too much. And if you see players pushing back on him, all right, then I'll go straight up and say it's time to get rid of him. But the other side of it is, number one, we're not in that locker room. We got no idea. And the little glimpses we see is there is a huge role of a guy like Marlon Humphrey keeping the vibes up. Of when it's like good cop, bad cop. When you have a guy like Lamar who is so serious all the time, that's good. Don't get me wrong. But having a guy like Marlowe to remind everyone that at the end of the day, to enjoy it. The dancing the locker.
That's where I don't know. I want him to play loose, but I don't need them enjoying this. Why do they need to enjoy last night? They're 3-5. Congratulations. Happy Halloween. Eat some candy. Lamar said he likes the new little Snickers packs that they got. Have some candy. Have some fun. No need to enjoy this. Back to work on Monday. This shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the Ravens.
I do understand.
They don't need that.
But why can't you enjoy work? That's the thing. Why can't you enjoy work?
Because when you were enjoying it, you were 1-5, and your season was in the trash.
But how do we know that? How do we know that they were clearly enjoying it in 2023 when they had the best team they had? That team
and
was
they lost,
so
and they lost because once they enjoyed it too much, they lost. Harbaugh goes and he dances in the locker room, and Flowers and Humphrey are a part of that. Andy Reid goes and he has his post-game speech, and he said, "We're not dancing; we have work to do." And right there was when I knew the season was over. And I knew that was going to be it.
That is why Marlon, by himself, you can't have it. But I think the balance of the two works. Too much of Lamar's way, I think I don't like. Too much of Marlowe's way, I don't like. I like having both.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's more the thing. Well, if it was all loose, no. Look at Miami. That is their problem.
Mike McDaniel's running, by the way. Does that just get me or everyone else? When he just runs,
Michael Marsky hates that man. Has from the jump.
He's a character. I'll say that.
He is.
There's one comment that I want to go to, and then I'm going to mention one more thing, and then we're going to wrap this up, and everyone can have a great Halloween. Is it even worth trying to unload Jair? I'm afraid that Jair Alexander is in the Deontay Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, Deshaun Jackson tier of
so sad.
Des Bryant tier of that just never worked. Which is crazy because he was ranked the top 100 player top 80 player by CBS Sports going into this year. So I thought what he was. My concern was not how he was going to do when he was on the field. It was if he was going to get injured. But he's a healthy scratch. He's healthy and he's not playing. Forget not playing well. He's not playing. There has to be something more to this, right?
I think the something more is the fact that the Ravens they clearly think that their best corners are Cheeto, Marlowe, Wiggins. The two other corners that are active are special teamers. Jair doesn't provide any of that on special teams. You're going to have guys that provide special teams up over him, over a guy that clearly they think is your number 4. And I still don't, I don't know how I feel about the fact that he's not even getting a chance. But, hey.
Shout out to Keandre Jackson, by the way. I know he made a penalty on special teams, but he's another one of those guys who's just a special teams baller. I feel like I'm always seeing him on special teams. He's the first guy on the ball. Talked about Nate Wiggins there. What do you think about Derrick Henry, Josh? Because I feel like Henry, the stat line looks better than what was the actual performance. The stat line is 19 carries for 119, which is a 6.3 average. It was good to see him get going toward the end. But like a casual fan who did watch a game could go look at that stat line. Oh, yeah, Henry went to work again. But I feel like it wasn't working throughout the game. Are you a little bit concerned about if he has lost a step at all? And again, what gets me is you mentioned last time with Henry that you thought he got to his head, and that was the biggest problem.
Yeah, I think that's gone.
Okay, but here's what's interesting. Did he get slower since week 1? Because like week 1, he had the same burst that we once saw. Like what's like when you watch Derrick Henry, do you see that same explosiveness that you saw last year? I don't. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't see it anymore.
Sure.
But I thought I saw it against Buffalo in week 1, and that's what's kind of throwing me off with this Henry situation.
Sure. I think Derrick Henry has been fine. I don't think he has been like, I am happy with what Derrick Henry has done this year, but I'm not thrilled. You know, yeah. I think he's done his job. I think he's done well. I think he has been very much above average. I think he is doing well, and he is breaking a couple of big runs a game. And when you really need to rely on him, he is delivered, but he's not playing like the best running back in football or second best behind Saquon this year. He's playing like the 10th or 11th best running back in football, which isn't what he's been, but you'll take it. But here's the thing about that burst. Fine, maybe he doesn't have the burst anymore. You know who does? Keaton Mitchell. I want to see more and more and more and more and more of him. I like Justice, but to me, if I have to pick one or the other, I am picking Keaton Mitchell.
I think we've already seen that. Because I think that in week 6 against the Rams, there was a lot more Justice than Keaton, but the past 2 weeks, it's been a lot more Keaton than Justice. And again, just goes back to I'm not going to lie. I've been very happy with what Harbaugh's done the past few games, so this is not supposed to be putting down Harbaugh. But this is once again what drives me nuts about this franchise is it sometimes is an organizational malpractice. How does Keaton Mitchell not play in the first 4 weeks? How does Tyler Huntley not play the considerable amount or start in the first 2 games without Lamar Jackson? When you then try those things later and you realized it worked and you're like happy that it worked, but also like, why did it take this long? Like, it feels like the Ravens are a step behind the fans sometimes. Like, we've been saying the entire year, Keaton, we've been saying the entire year without Lamar. Snoop, like, we've been saying this. I'm so confused. Like, Fitzy right here, Keaton is so good, man, and he is. And I think we're going to start to see not a 50-50 split because
I don't want to see a 50-50 split because I don't think Keaton's a guy who can – I don't want Keaton Mitchell to have 10 carries a game. I think 7 is the right number.
Right. But I think that you're going to start to see him get at least more involved in the rushing game where, like, all of a sudden when you're a panelist at the beginning of the game and you're talking about key players for Baltimore, I want to see Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Keaton Mitchell go out there and have a good game. Like we did in that back end of 2023 before we got hurt. I think we could see him again return to that kind of proficiency. In terms of the run game, we talked about this earlier here. We have another comment. No Faalele and Voorhees. They're the problem. Faalele and Voorhees don't block. That's Henry problem. Okay.
Well, we had one of those guys played all last year. And that is the thing. Like, I'm not saying that 77 is playing well, but we had him all of last year and Derrick Henry had damn near 2,000 yards in the regular season. So you can't be like, oh, this new guy. You know what I mean?
That's fair. No running back can run behind Voorhees and Faalele. Faalele, the issue. I do think Faalele has gotten worse. I don't think he's been as good as he was last year. And I think that's why Linderbaum's gotten worse because he's almost had to compensate for some of that. But I think Voorhees also didn't start the year well. I think it's been a variety of issues. Soundwave AL808, what do the Ravens take from that game and move forward? I feel like you have to look here because that's what you got to do, right? You can't just sit on this and have fun and then lose to Minnesota because then you enter that panic mode we're talking about again. Minnesota's not a great team. You got to come into their stadium and you're going to have to win another game. So I think what you take from this game is that you're flawed. Like the Ravens were easily the inferior football team in the first half. But just simply because they're that much more talented, they were up by what was it, 14-6 at the half. So I think the Ravens need to take the good from this game, which was that Lamar could still be Lamar. You can get Henry going if you need to.
Yeah.
You saw some more Isaiah Likely. You saw what you could do with Hamilton. Gilman had his best game. There's a lot that you could take from that. Mike Green, I thought David Ojabo and Travis Jones had their best games of the season. Like, there's a lot you could take. Also look at the amount of miscues Miami made and say, how are those miscues going to work against Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, where I'm not saying they're going to be playing them anytime soon, but that's the eventual goal, is not only collecting wins to get to the postseason, but that once you get there, you're prepared for number 17 in blue, number 15 in red.
Let me tell you something. Trippy, you know Trippy, right?
Trippy. Name rings a bell.
The fan.
Yes. Yeah.
You definitely know him. The guy who yells at the players after the game.
Yeah.
He put a little thing in my head about saying how he wanted Buffalo again. And he talked about how he wanted New England to win the division. Well, again, New England is a historically easy schedule.
No. Don't say that. We do not. First of all, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, wild card round primetime in Baltimore in a 4-5. That's like
where I'm going.
That is, by the way, you want to talk about what was the all-time saying? What was it? Steve Nash and Chris Paul must see TV. So what was that? That saying? That is
2 words for you.
Yeah. 2 words. Charles Barkley, huge shout out. Must see TV. Goodness gracious. That would be incredible.
Steve Nash and Chris Paul must see TV. But no, that is the thing, is New England's schedule is so easy. And if the Ravens win the division, they're going to be the 4 seed. Well, if Buffalo doesn't win their division, they will be 5. And you're getting that in the wild card round.
I'm almost wondering, though, because I'm looking ahead at New England. The schedule is easy if they are a really, really great team that can run the table. Like, I'm not saying run the table.
They're going to win out, but
no, right. But I'm saying, like, I just think that, like, the schedule is easy if we think New England is good. Are they still going to lay some eggs? I don't know. I see a lot of parallels between New England and Baltimore in 2019. We're different, but, like, they were kind of in the mix. Then you collect that one big win, right? For me, it was the Ravens at Seattle, and that was kind of like the exclamation point. And then the next week against the Patriots, the 2019 year. And then all of a sudden you just go full throttle and you have the second-year quarterback. And then all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, oh, wow, they've won like 6 or 7 games, and it's like week 9. And so I feel like I see a lot of parallels there. And Vrabel's a great coach, as was Harbaugh in that year. So I could see the Patriots being like 13-4, as crazy as that sounds, given the schedule, because I think they are that good.
And if they are that good, and the schedule is that easy, man. Like, it is. I want to pull this up game by game for a second. Like, I hope people realize what we're talking here. The Patriots schedule is Atlanta, Tampa, Jets, Bengals, Giants, Bills, Ravens, Jets, Dolphins.
I think for me, your Buffalo's obviously going to have to win that one game. Can the Jets steal one just because they're a division rival? I don't know. I think the Jets could be that bad. Could on the road at Cincinnati be tough? Could on the road at Tampa Bay? I think there is a possibility that Buffalo's the wild card. I still right now pick them to win the division, because for as bad as they've been, they're 5-2. Like, this is the best thing if you're a Bills fan, is it feels like Josh Allen has not played well. Your team hasn't looked great, and you are 5-2.
Yep.
Real quick before we're soon to wrap up, EDC definitely has to see if the Dolphins are going to stop their guys, Chubb, Phillips, etc. The Jets, very interesting developments. Also, we got to definitely address the run defense, pass rush for sure. I think the defensive line made strides. I still think you want to add someone more there. And then did you see we won't lose a draft pick?
I read that wrong. I thought you said, do you want? I was like, what? No, I don't. Yeah, but yes, we did not. I'm
not lose a draft pick. The Ravens issue a statement like, we're not going to appeal the NFL's ruling. I'm like, all right, guys, it's
why would you?
Yeah, you got lucky here. There was definitely some shady things going on, but it's fine. It's you know what? They won. It's buck this. $100,000 Shoddy is like me pulling out a $5 bill.
We're 2-0.
2-0 in that stretch. And by the way, if the Ravens somehow turn this into a playoff year, It wouldn't have happened if they lost to Chicago. Number one, because it's just another loss, which you can't take. But also mentally, they couldn't have taken another loss. If the Ravens turn this around, which is going to be with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, I want people to recognize that Snoop saved the season.
1,000%.
And for that, bow wow, Snoop.
Walmart, Lamar, you did well.
We love Snoop around here. I've always loved Snoop. I mean, Snoop is just...
How can you not?
How do you not start him for the first 2 games? Again, organizational malpractice type behaviors that they need to clean up.
I'll give him the first half of the Texans game.
Yeah, I give you that too.
You paid Cooper Rush. You expect him to be the guy. He was not bad in Dallas. But as soon as it became so glaringly obvious,
it's almost like you had to do it because you're paying him $6 million. But once you see the signals, get him out.
Yeah.
And what also drives me crazy too is the Ravens weren't even going to get Huntley back. Huntley made the call to Harbaugh. It's like Huntley kind of asked for it. But hey, good for Snoop. We love Snoop around here. Shout out to Snoop, man. How did he not start versus the Rams?
That's the thing, is the Rams game. The Texans get even the game, I'll give him, because actually in the first half, Cooper Rush actually wasn't bad. It was the second half where he was bad. So I'll even give him the whole Texans game. It was the Rams game that
the Ravens would have won that game with Snoop Huntley.
They definitely could have.
Josh, I feel like we always say we're going to do this as like a quick hitter, but then we just love this team too much. And then all of a sudden we look up and it's like 52 minutes in. So, 52, by the way, lucky number. Shout out Ray Lewis. We're going to wrap it up right here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Great engagement in the comments. Unfortunately, no call-ins here today, but you know what? Always love the engagement in the comments. Love the tremendous viewership both on YouTube and Twitter. So thank you guys so much for that. The Ravens, folks, do not give up on the flock. Because let me tell you something. Flock around and find out. And we've also gotten to the point where it's now, quote, the defense never score territory. And Zach Orr's group is seen to have done a much better job. Don't overreact. The jury is still out on this team. But I will repeat this one more time. The demise of the Baltimore Ravens has been greatly exaggerated. And the flock is back in the mix.
Hell yeah, man.
That's a fun thing to say. Josh Berman, this was awesome yet again. Thanks for taking the time, and happy Halloween. What are the plans for Halloween? Dressed it up tonight, or?
I am going to the U and getting street interview content because I don't know if there's a place in the country that's going to have more entertaining street interviews on Halloween night than Miami. So
Miami's pretty much Halloween in December. So
we're going to the U, and the content I have very high expectations for.
I have high expectations for it as well. Just can enjoy it. Dressed up as a Raven fanatic today for Halloween, so I guess that's good enough. And by the way, for those who do follow Josh's work, I'm sure you guys have seen that whole interaction in the second quarter. Just want to let everyone know Josh is incredible. We all love Josh around here. We appreciate all the great things he's done, and keep being you, Berman, because we love the content. So thank you so much, man. Later. Thank you so much for taking the time here today. Go Flock.
For sure, bro.
Let's do it. We're going to wrap it up here alongside Josh Berman of the Yes Network. I'm Chase Coburn saying so long. Don't let the Ravens wake up because now they're awake. They poked the sleeping bear, and he's about to attack. Take care, everyone.
Woo.